now it looks like I'm like a fucking asshole.
You're
It's like, no, you don't bring
misogynist.
any fucking value. Yeah, like
We're back to the man cave. All right, we're back on the man cave, yo.
we're back
with another banger. We got two Dominicans on the Puerto Rican talking shit.
We're gonna stick with that, huh?
We're gonna stick with that. I mean, we are two Dominicans and a Puerto Rican,
and we do talk.
I look Mexican today. I got the Mexican attire, representing some Mexican culture here, but I am 100% Puerto Rican. But yeah. Y'all watch Fresh and Fit. Everybody watches Fresh and Fit. Whether you are a big fan of theirs with the red pill community, or you're just like you're a hate watcher, or you love to hate on them, like those type of people that just watch just to hate on them and talk shit and drop comments like, oh, y'all are low value men, blah 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 blah. I like some of their points. I don't agree with all their points, right? I don't agree with all their points.
Same.
There's sometimes they make inconsistent arguments. And I was watching a video the other day, and yeah, let's take a look.
As the woman,
the value, the value.
No, I said men have to bring value up front.
Why?
Women
because
don't.
you are designed to be.
Listen to that. Listen to
men
that.
have to bring value up front.
Because why?
Women
Because
don't.
you are designed.
Men have to bring value up front. Women don't. Up front, the first meeting, the first date, right? Is that a true statement? Do you think that's a true statement where women don't bring any value up front?
No. So I think if it's just for the first date, and again, it's just for the first date, without looking past the first date, the men have to bring value, right? Mm-hmm. And the value that a woman's bringing only is equivalent to what the man believes the value is, because she's not bringing anything. Whereas the guy is bringing stuff. He's bringing the finances, he's bringing the dates, reservations, and all that stuff. Now, if the guy thinks that the value that he's going to pay for this woman is whatever the case is, let's say $400 or whatever for the first date, that's the value that he's putting on that particular aspect of it. Because other than the first date, he knows nothing about it. He doesn't really know what values she values. All he knows is the, I guess, intrinsic value, which is basically, hey, listen, I had a crush on this girl for so long. It depends on what my intentions are. Let's just say that my intentions is to smash. I think I'm going to put in a total of like $300 to $400 worth of effort to try to get in the door. At the end of the day, the second date is completely up to her. So me at the beginning, I'm bringing all the value, money-wise, financial-wise, time-wise, whereas she is only bringing the value I think she can provide for me at that particular point in time. She's not actually bringing anything. Now, let me be very, very clear. After the first date, I'm not saying women don't bring value. Women bring intense value to the relationship. But for the first date, it does kind of go on the guy. It falls heavier on the guy because he is making the initial investment.
What do you think, Baez?
I agree to that point. It's kind of hard to say when you're bringing value, especially in the first date, because everyone's wearing a mask pretty much on the first date. You're trying to bring out the best.
The trial period. You get the trial period for 3 months.
And then the true colors start coming out. So it's kind of hard to say, oh, I bring value on the first date just because I'm paying. Just because you're paying doesn't really mean you're bringing value.
Yeah, I mean, I think this whole statement that the woman doesn't bring anything is still flawed, because she, again, even if you just wanted to have sex with her, the value now is in her sexuality. You see value in that. You're willing to put an equal exchange. There's like an exchange there, right?
But
you wouldn't put she is bringing it. No, she is bringing that. She's bringing herself, right? Which is as valuable as you're willing to pay for it, right? Think of it as like a painting. Think of it as a painting. Let's say you go buy a painting for $3 million. The painting doesn't do anything. The painting is just good to look at. It's nice to look at. There's nothing there. There's no utility in a painting, and yet you're willing to pay $3 million for it, right? Let's say a Mona Lisa. There is value there, and you're willing to exchange monetary value for that sort of intangible value.
So I think the question should be, I guess to put it, it's just, do you bring value? It's such a general statement though, because it depends what kind of value you're speaking about. That's the thing. If it's monetary value, then you don't bring any monetary value to begin with. But if it's maybe like sexuality value, then yeah, at that point it could have been an easy yes, because you are invested in what you're seeing could be potentially a sexy woman, that you've had a question for so long. But that's a sexual value. So the question should be more specific. Do women bring sexual value, monetary value, emotional value? There's so many different variables that can go into that one statement. Correct.
Yeah, but there is an equal exchange, right?
But it's not equal, bro.
It's equal in terms of equity, right? There's equity in her that is worth the amount that you're willing to put. Let's say a Ferrari, right? You want to put $2 million to buy a Ferrari, to get inside of the Ferrari and drive it.
Yeah.
The Ferrari itself doesn't bring any financial value to you. It's not making you any money. It's not coming to the table with money.
This is where that statement is flawed though, because you're investing into that Ferrari knowing you're gonna drive it. I'm investing into this date, not knowing if I'm gonna get a second date to potentially get in there, which is my original intention, if that was my intention. That's what I'm saying. On the very first date, I'm making all the investment and it's not even guaranteed.
But it's like flipping a house. It's like flipping a house, bro. It's like buying a rebuilt house, bro. You're buying a house, you're fixing it up, thinking, all right, I'm gonna buy this house, the ARV after I'm done with construction. Let's say it's 500 grand. I bought it for 200, but I only sold it for 300K.
No, it's not. You know why? You know why it's not? Because when you're investing in things like that, you have full control, at least 90% control of what happens.
But not the sale.
Not the sale.
Not the sale.
Not the market.
Listen, you can modify certain things, and you have data on this thing that you basically have control over your investment. The second date, you have zero say in what happens on the second date.
You have full control the first date. You have to bring out the best of you.
Yeah,
you have to try to impress this person.
You can be the very best you can be, and for all you know, all she wanted to do is go out and have dinner.
Yeah, a food date, a foodie.
Exactly, and that's not your intent.
But that's part of the risk. That's part of the risk. That's part, investing in stock is very similar. You don't know if that stock is going to go up or down, but you see value in the stock. That value has at that moment value. You're like, you know what? Tesla is worth $250. I think that's a good value, and I think it's going to go higher. Let me get in at $250. It drops. That's on you. But you know what? That's the risk. Everything has a risk.
But you know what? With that risk, you at least get half of your money back. With this risk, you get zero. You just lost. You just gave up.
Yeah, but you never know what you get out of it. Like, for example, like the conversation is like, all right, the girl does not bring any value, so she's just bringing her body. But you're really gonna go on a first date. You talk to this person, go on a first date. You're gonna go on a first date just because she looks hot, and you're gonna go on a first date with a bimbo.
Well, it depends. I mean, back in the day, if you're about that.
And you're in high school, that's different.
If she look good.
I'm not speaking about now. I'm speaking about when I was younger, when people are younger, when they want to get into that bachelor stage. That's what I'm speaking about. I'm not speaking about when you have a fiance, marriage, anything like that. That's a completely different ballgame. They bring tremendous value. I'm speaking about the very first date. If all you want to do is smash, you're not guaranteed to get into the second date. Period.
You're not, but she does have value. She has value in her vagina. That's the value. That's the thing that has value, her vagina, and you're willing to spend $400 as an entry fee.
What Jose's trying to say is, bro,
now,
for
it's
example,
a very good investment at that point.
Pen,
that's what you decide.
This pen, let's say this pen, it cost me $5, right? And I sold you, this is my fold pen, and I sold it to you for $100. You know what the value is now of this pen? A free market value is $100 because you willing to pay for it.
Yeah,
that girl's value, you're willing to pay that dinner.
At the end of the day, I know I can write with that pen. That's the difference.
I think you're confusing the utility. Yeah, but you're confusing the utility of the object.
But
do you have any utility in a painting worth $20 million? Is there any utility?
Yes, because I can take it and I can put it and store it wherever I want.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I can't do that with.
Do you understand what the word utility means?
Yes, I do understand that. I am utilizing this pen. I am utilizing this pen. Oh, not the pen. The painting to attract more customers. Let's say I have a business, right? And I take this painting and I put it at the very entrance of my business. The utility of that painting is to attract more customers, more business. Yes,
Amazon. Amazon was on the negative. But Amazon was on the negative.
Hold on. Yes or no? Is that not a valid statement?
You could do that. You could do that. You could
do that, right? So because, but at the end of the day, I choose where I'm putting that painting, and I'm getting value in return. I want to be very clear. The only reason why I'm making that point is if I was thinking as a bachelor. I'm not talking about long-term investment. Long-term investing into this girl. That's a different situation. I'm speaking about if you just want to smash, but you got to take her on a date. You are the one coming up with everything up front. You are the one investing everything up front, regardless of what people say. You're the one putting gas in your car. You're the one putting mileage on your car. You're the one making the reservations. You're the one paying for the dinners. You're the one dropping her back off. You do all of this stuff. The amount of planning. Again, this is if a girl is, what you think is worth, whatever. It's a lot that goes into it. And it's not even guaranteed you're going to get a second date. And I get it. I guess to a point she does have value. I understand.
That is true. That's true, Carlos. I understand what you're saying. You have to put all this upfront value in that one moment, right? Very quickly, right?
Very quickly.
But replace this girl with a Ferrari just for a moment, right?
You can't do that.
Yes, you can. And I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you how, right? Let's say you have a Ferrari. You see it. You're like, oh my God, I want to buy that Ferrari. You have to work for it to get that Ferrari. But the Ferrari didn't just magically appear, right? It had to be constructed. There's a lot that goes into that Ferrari. Just like that woman. She didn't just magically appear with a set of boobs and ass, right? She also, right, before you even saw her, she also had to put in all this work. Possibly there's a lot of genetics involved, right? That you can't buy. You can't buy genetics, right? So there's a lot on the back end that is involved. And she comes to you at the finish line of her sort of like where she is. Now you feel like, oh my God, I got to drop all this all at once. But you have to understand all of that just like the Ferrari didn't just appear, so it had that value was built up over time.
Yes,
that value was built up over time. So at that moment, yes, you do have to drop $400. But the thing is that punani that you're about to stick in and touch them sugar walls, that is worth $400+ which means if you're willing to drop $400, then the value of that vagina is $400.
No, because you just said you're about to experience the punani. You don't even know if you're gonna get it. With a Ferrari, I know I'm taking it home and I'm driving it.
Even the risk, the risk.
Oh my God, come on.
The risk, the value, the risk in putting $400 literally is $400 minimum, and you're willing to risk it. You're willing. It's like a lottery ticket. A lottery ticket could be worth $1 billion. Or nothing. Bro. We could literally go back and forth, but I'm gonna have to edit a lot of this shit out. But let's continue. Let's see what else they sort of speak on.
The value that you bring pales in comparison to the value the man has to bring.
I'm gonna hone in on what he just said.
Yeah. The value that you bring pales in comparison to the value the man has to bring.
Because look at how you're.
So
what women bring pales in comparison. What he just did is a term called moving the goalpost. At first, it was
men have to bring value up front.
Why?
Women
Because
don't.
Now he's moved the goalpost because I think they're starting to make some good points. I'm not really sure. Now he's moved the goalpost. Men bring more value than women. So women do bring value, not as much as men. That's a different argument, but he is moving the goalpost.
Yeah, that is a different argument though.
Yeah, so he's moving the goalposts, and that's, you know, people move the goalposts all the time in arguments, especially when they're feeling cornered, you know, or in this situation when you have 6 women saying, you know, we do bring value. There's value, and I would agree, women don't bring zero value. It's not financial, right? Because they're, you know, women are expecting men to bring that monetary value to the date. But
which is why I believe that it was the question was asked. Which is why I believe the question was broadly asked. Do women bring value? It depends first of all, it depends what the guy's looking for, and it depends what value you're talking about.
Yeah, and this ain't no, you know, we're not trying to cap or we're not trying to bash Fresh and Fit. They make a lot of good points, guys. All right, I know everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, y'all are haters. Y'all are haters." Look, I'm just saying. Maybe I'm nitpicking, but I am the type of person that will identify some inconsistencies in an argument and be like, now you're moving the goalpost a little bit. I mean, there's a little bit of an inconsistency. I like things to be consistent. I think the most consistent you get with an argument, the better the truth is. So, all right, here's another video real quick. Let's take a look.
Focused. We talked about men getting finessed by women. And I said the reason why men get finessed by women more is because men have to bring more upfront value to deal with women. We have to pay for the date, we have to plan everything, etc. Men come out of pocket significantly more in the beginning of a relationship than a woman does. That's a fact. Okay?
They do.
So therefore, since we're in a more vulnerable position, we have to invest first. What ends up happening is more guys get finessed.
Yes.
Okay?
Very true. Very true.
So that is a good point.
That was my point.
Yes, he moved the goalpost, but had he not moved the goalpost and started with women bring value, men bring more financial value, that's obvious, right? Women don't bring financial value a lot of the time. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they want to pay for something, but a lot of the times they're expecting the man to carry the bag, right? Now, what I find inconsistent is that you're bringing so much financial value that somehow eclipses any value that the women brings that is intangible. What if this intangible value is equal to the financial value that you're bringing to the table? And I think that's the inconsistency in this argument. You're isolating the financial aspect of the value, right? Obviously, I agree, you bring a lot of financial value, but can there be an equity, an equal exchange in value in what she brings? Because obviously you're willing to put in that money. You're not going to drop $400, $500 on a woman who's not worth $500, are you? So she has to be worth that $500, which means her value. Go ahead.
I agree. No, to the person putting it down, because those, it may be, like I said, that's very personal, the value of the person that you're putting down. You might say, all right, this person I'm willing to put thousands down, and this person I'm not willing to put McDonald's.
Yeah. So the value, I think the value equates. If you're going to drop $400 on a girl, even though she's not bringing any financial value to the situation, she has an intangible value that you identify and you're willing to put $400. Therefore, I think Fresh and Fit, and I know they're doing this to get views, and there's no shame in the game, right? There's no shame in the game, baby. We good. I'm just saying that if you were to put someone who recognizes logical fallacies on the show, which they don't for the most part, because a lot of these girls are just girls from Ocean Drive. Not to say that these girls are stupid. I'm just saying, like, maybe they're not the sharpest tools in the shed, but they'd be able, you know, someone would be able to identify, like, I don't think that logically follows, you know? And I'm just speaking on men, like us men, you know, we're trying to get better, right? We're trying to do better, right? I get Fresh and Fit's point of view. I think that there is a flaw. I think you're concentrating on the financial value, and that's fine. I agree. I just think that if you're willing to drop $400 on a girl, she's worth $400 apparently.
There you go.
To a degree, though. To a degree. I don't.
Okay. So who had something?
I want to ask you one question though.
Sure.
Have you ever spent like 24 hours with a kid, like just you taking care
I
of a
was
kid
about to
24
say
hours.
this. What the fuck?
Yeah, it sucks.
Exactly. You would not want to do that shit. So, like, would you rather go to work or sit at home with kids all day?
They rather
It's
sit at home.
easier. It's easier to stay at home with the children.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
It's
Than
easier,
working.
but
It takes
would
a
you
mental
personally,
toll.
a man, would you rather sit home all day with kids or would you rather go to work?
Go to work as a man.
I'd rather-
Exactly,
yeah, but
right?
that's-
So, like, you can't really complain that you're providing,
Because you
right?
design that way.
Yeah, they
no,
love
no, no.
it.
Now,
Not for now, but it's definitely not easier to stay home with a kid. So whoever is selling that fallacy is incorrect. It is not easier to stay home with a kid. It's easier to go to a job. 100%.
All day long.
Trust me, it is easier.
Yeah.
I have two. It is easier to go to your job. So whoever
Uh-huh.
thinks that the female is just home doing nothing, popping in DVDs into a DVD player, is inaccurate.
Nah.
That's not
well,
accurate.
Fresh and Fit would argue that it is easier for a person to stay at home to take
Yeah,
care of
go
the
back to-
children
Nah.
versus going out and working.
Yeah, it's easier to speak on that when you don't have children.
There you go.
Right. Yeah. When you don't have
So-
children on your back 24/7.
Exactly.
This whole call's
So
been
that
interrupted
puts
like
it
15
better right
times because of kids.
That puts it to bed right there. I'm sorry, and it sucks that I gotta say this, but unless you have kids, you cannot relate. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You cannot relate.
It's tough because I try to think of days where I go into the office and it, like I don't do the most physically extraneous job in the world. I literally sit at a desk. But you know, there's other jobs that like are physically demanding. Are those jobs harder than taking care of a kid? Absolutely, 100%. You know, anyone who's done roofing, anyone who's done yard work can attest that
Yeah.
that is so much harder than taking care of a child.
But sometimes mentally, like if you have a more complicated job that's physical, it's more draining than a physical job. Imagine dealing with a kid. That's mentally all day draining.
Yeah.
I prefer to switch a roof.
And the thing is too that when you go to these, jobs, you basically have a 9 to 5. When you're dealing with a kid, it's 24/7. That job doesn't end. Period.
Ever.
So I mean, I guess the consensus is, is taking care of a kid difficult? Yes, it can be difficult. It really can, depending on the stage at which that child is growing up. Because there's some stages where they're super self-efficient. Like there's gonna be points where they're just gonna be playing by themselves. They just, they just figure things out eventually. But then there's times where it's just hard. It's like really, really hard to keep I don't want to say entertain a child, but just to make sure that they're not driving you crazy, And then there's jobs that literally will kill you. So there's literal jobs out there that will kill you. So yeah, parenting's not easy, but it is certainly easier than the vast majority of jobs out there. But let us know what y'all think. Have y'all identified any inconsistencies in Fresh and Fit's logic or in the Red Pill community's logic? I know there's always going to be inconsistencies, and some people might call it nitpicking. But I think if you want to have a good argument or a good debate, it's always good to refine your arguments. Refine that tool. If there's an inconsistency in your logic, it's good to refine it. It's good to evaluate it and say, you know what, this is actually bad logic. Even if no one else can identify it and I realize it, it's always good to self-reflect and be like, this is actually a bad argument. I'm not going to use it anymore. I do that all the time. I do that.
You need to stress test your opinions.
Exactly. Stress test them as much as possible. See where these things start to fall apart. And of course, people fall into all these traps, moving the goalposts and stuff. But let us know what y'all think. We are not fighting the Red Pill community. We are totally on board with you guys for the most part. I don't know.
For certain aspects.
But like the video, drop a comment. We'll be back with another video, another banger. This is the Man Cave. Oh.